Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell. Welcome to part 2 of my Amiga 2000 power supply refurbishment video. In part 2, I'm going to reassemble the power supply and I'm going to install a brand new high quality fan. There is a lot to do and a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Okay, here we have the bottom of the Amiga 2000's power supply case. So make sure that this clear mylar piece here is on this side, not on this side. And then when you drop the board in, make sure that it goes in. There's a metal right there in the corner. Alright. Make sure that this corner of the board slips right into that metal groove right there. It's very important that that gets seated right there. Okay. And then we have these. There's 3 of these screws there that mount the board into place. So let me get my screwdriver and mount this puppy. Do not tighten them till you get them all in. You want the board to be able to move, to seat itself. Okay, and you never want to over tighten these screws because you can actually crack the PCB if you do. Make sure you can still move the board. Alright, now this one here, probably going to have to use this screwdriver here to get it in. Yeah. Alright, that's good. Go back to using the low torque screwdriver. Okay. Do not over tighten. Just snug it because these have a lock washer. So when you feel that lock washer close, that's good enough. Okay. That's another reason for using a low torque screwdriver. Do not use a normal number 2 screwdriver. It's too heavy and it's got way too much torque. Okay. Alright. So that's mounted. Alright, the next thing that we want to do, let me put my screwdriver back, is we want to put the wires into that. So, we want them to flow, this is about where it was before, but we want to have some slack in there. You don't want to have, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it was in there, if I remember correctly. Okay, let me get all those fucking wires in there. And, yeah. Like that. Actually, why don't we don't, okay. Yeah. Just Get in there like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good like that. Pull it back out. About like that's good. And then put it, well, about like that. Okay, make sure that there is enough slack in there. See how the slack is? You want to make sure there's enough slack in there so you're not pulling on any of those wires. Make sure there's slack in there. All right. So that looks pretty good, I'm thinking. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like it. I don't think it's going to come out. Yeah. That's good. I like it. Alright, now I probably should have done this before I mounted the board. We have to plug in this assembly right here. So, we'll go ahead and do that. Actually, we'll do that when I come back. Okay. So, this only plugs in one way. So, we just plug it in like that. Okay, that's plugged in. Alright. Okay, so this goes on like... Okay, I usually want to mount this first. Like that. What the fuck is going on here? That goes on like that. That goes onto the switch. Okay. Alright. Pretty sure it goes on like that. Pretty sure it goes on like that. Yeah. Pretty sure it does. Let me go ahead and mount this. Okay, select the camera. Yeah, select the camera. Alright. Let me go ahead and okay, it's going to require two of those bolts, those nuts and bolts right there. So, yeah. Alright, let me get my screwdriver and make sure it's still underneath the camera. And we want this to go in like this. We want the ground part facing down. Okay, we want the ground part facing down. Alright? Come on. Get in there, you fuck. Alrighty. Okay, so that's in there like that. Now let's get the other one in there. Okay. Okay. Select the camera. Yeah, select the camera. Alright. Put this nut right like that. Put that bitch in there like that. Okay. want it centered on the hole. So, yeah. Okay, for this, I'm going to use my my full slide number 2 just to snug it. Okay, just to snug it. That's good right there. Yeah, right there is fine. Yeah, let me make sure. I'm trying to think. I think it's this one here, which is a 7mm. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's, no, smaller than that. This is a 1/4 inch. Yeah, I think it's a 1/4 inch. But the 7mm is coming up. No, shit. Alrighty, well, I could use my needle nose to hold that while I'm tightening it, you know. I don't like using needle nose for this. But that's good like that. Don't go overboard with it. It's fine. Okay, that's good. It only needs to be snug. Do not over tighten. Okay, so we put the full torque screwdriver, number 2 screwdriver, put that away, and this is in there good now. Okay, oh wait, next thing I got to do is to pop in the switch. This switch right there, and I think it goes, let me see, because 0 goes toward the bottom. You want to have it toward the 0s on the bottom. The one there is on the top. 0's on the bottom. That's the industry standard. So just put it in like that, and it should pop right fucking like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Put that over there. All right. So you got that in there. You got these wires in there. All right. Okay. So I think I did mark this, what was top and what was bottom. I'm not sure. I don't really think it matters, to be honest with you. I don't think it matters. Yeah. I don't think it really matters. Because it's just a switch. So you just put it on like that. And then slide that bitch on like that. And that's it. I mean, they should have put heat shrink over that. That's what I would have done if it was me. I would have put heat shrink over that. Maybe, okay, don't put this on yet. Take it off. Don't put that on yet. I forgot that it's best to put this on first. This is the, okay, this is the grounding thing. Put that on first. If I remember correctly, the tooth washer goes on first, then the lock washer, it goes on. Alright. And then the nut goes on. This is not easy to put on, I can tell you that. Oh, come on, get out there, you fuck. Oh, you fucker. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Get this motherfucker on there. Oh, you fucking son of a bitch. Probably gonna have to do it like this. let me take a seat. And I want to make sure that everything is in there. Let me get my magnifier goggles. Can't see shit without them. Yeah, can't see a damn thing without them. I need to get close up. You know what I'm saying? Close up, people. So you got the tooth washer. We got the lock washer in there. Let's get this bolt in here, shall we? Yeah, get this fucking bolt in there. Oh, come on, get in there. Why is that fucking bolt so hard to get in there? Now it's in there. Alright. Okay. I don't need my goggles on anymore. I just had to make sure that... Still at the camera? Yeah, still at the camera. Okay. So... we want to snug this like that. You don't want to over tighten it, but you don't want it really loose either. So you want it snug. Come on, get in there. That should be good. I mean, right there should be good. Yeah, that right there should be good. As long as it's on it. You don't want to over tighten it because you could actually break it out of here. So you don't want to over tighten. Snug it, that should be fine. Make sure that you do not hit the coil down there with your wrench. That would not be good if you did that. Okay. So I can put this tool away. Remember, put your tools away when you're done with them. Put that away. And now, we'll go ahead and put these wires. I think this. I think it went in like that. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, that's fine. And then this one. Now, when you plug these in, there's an open end and a closed end. You want this closed end up on top and the open end down below. Okay? So that's plugged in there. Switch is now plugged in. I'm just making sure it's in there good. Okay, let me inspect the, I want to inspect these solder joints here, because they should have heat shrunk that. And the heat shrinking would act like a strain relief on that. Of course, no one's going to be in here, you know, in and out of this, so that's probably what they were thinking. Just solder the wires on, be done with it, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that looks okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It looks fine. Looks fine. Not going to worry about it. Yeah. Okay. The only thing left to do now is to put in the new fan and then close up the power supply. Should be ready to put back into an Amiga 2000 computer. Okay, so that's coming up next. Okay, first thing we need to do is we need to strip these wires, and I use a pair of strippers, wire strippers like these. These are really good. They're really good strippers. You can also use them for cutting small bolts, your standard size electronics bolts. You know, that's what those are for. And there's cutters right there for cutting wire. And then there's flat nose. Well, actually, these have little teeth on them, but these are, you can use them as pliers as well, right here. So it's a very versatile tool, and I recommend that you add one of these to your electronics tools, you know. Anyway, my soldering iron is heating up again. Now with these, you want to use, okay, you want to have where you can see the print that goes up. And the way you know what size wire you want to use is, let's say it's 22 gauge wire, like this is 22. Let me go up, look, let me do it a little bit closer, you can see what I'm doing. Like if it's 22 gauge wire, this is 22 gauge wire. In order to keep the blades from cutting into the actual wire itself, you want to use the next size up, which is going to be, in this case, it's going to be gauge 20. And yeah, wire gauge 20, which is the next one up. You want to do about, you don't really need much, about 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch is all you need. Squeeze, pull straight up. Do not go at a slant like this, straight up like this. Just like you saw me do underneath the camera. And it should look like that. And then you take between your two fingers and you twist the wires. That adds strength to the wire. Like that. I'm doing it off camera underneath my magnifying goggles so I can see it better. Okay, so you do it like that. Okay, you do the same thing on the other one, on the other 3 wires. Okay. So if it's 22 gauge, you want to go the next size up, which is 20 gauge. Okay, 20 gauge. And you go straight like that. You pull straight up like that. Do not go to slant like this. You'll cut into the wire if you do. Okay? And again, that's what it looks like. Nice clean cut. Take the wire between 2 fingers, start twisting them. Like that. I'm going to finish it up underneath the off camera because I want to do it underneath my magnifying goggles. Alright, then what you want to do, because you don't want to just, I see so many of you in your YouTube videos, you just connect it together, solder it, and the solder, you expect to solder to hold it together. Wrong. You always want to make a physical connection. Then you solder. So in this case, what I like to do, let me do this underneath the, I like to bend it at about the halfway point like that. And you'll see why, okay, you'll see why in a moment. I bend them at the halfway point, and you'll see why after I solder, or excuse me, after I strip the other 2 wires. Okay, you'll see why in a moment. Okay, so that one is ready to go. I already have the heat shrink tubing on the fan right here. Okay, and so I'm going to do the same thing. Let me make sure I'm underneath the camera so you can see what I'm doing. This time I'm going to sit down for this. And okay, this right here I believe is 20 gauge wire, so we want to use the next one up, which is 18 gauge. And remember, okay, that one I might have to do 22 gauge on that. Yeah. 22 gauge, they'll cut into the wire. God damn it. It cut into the wire. Yeah, no, I don't want to use 22 gauge. 22 gauge is too much. Okay. Cut this like that. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's try this again. Go like... Okay, yeah, that's perfect. It did not cut into the wire. That's good. You always go, if the wire is like 20 gauge, you want to do 18 gauge on the cutters. Okay. So that worked out good. And now we're going to do the same thing on, am I underneath the camera? Yeah, I'm underneath the camera. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm underneath the camera. Okay. The wire is 22 gauge. So we're going to use 18 gauge part on the cutters. Okay. Straight out. Do not go at an angle at all. Okay, now that this is done, I can put my tool away. Remember, always put your tools away when you're done. So I can put my strippers away. Okay. And then the same thing. Okay, twist these wires. Okay. Twist them for strength. Yeah, these are all twisted, right? And then just like the other ones, you want to bend it at the halfway point. Because we're going to make a physical... These aren't... Okay, we're going to make a physical connection. Okay. There's that. Same thing with this other one. Going to make a physical connection. All right. Okay, just showing you what I'm doing. They're both like that. They're bent like that. And you got the heat shrink tubing already on there, ready to go, right? Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we want to take the other wire, right? And we want to hook those together like that to create a physical connection like that. Same thing with this one. Physical connection. Do not just rely on the solder. You want to make a physical connection. Okay? So there's that. Okay. So that's ready for soldering. Let me make sure I make the camera. And yeah. I'm underneath the camera. Well, yeah, I'm underneath the camera enough. You can see what I'm doing. Alright, so okay, let's go ahead and solder that. I already have my iron heated up, ready to go. Let's solder this puppy. I got my solder over here. Let's go ahead and solder this puppy. Ah, shit. The one wire, it's refusing to cooperate. It's refusing to cooperate, people. Okay. And that's it. That's all you need. That's good. Okay. All right. So under the camera, yeah. They're going to pull the heat shrink tubing over what I just did. Make sure that it's cooled down. You don't want it to start heat shrinking before you even get the heat gun over it. Okay. So that's about centered there. Okay. And then we'll take the heat gun and shrink that. A lot of you, I notice, you use the iron. Don't do that. If you don't have a heat gun, invest in a proper tool. Don't be lazy. Don't be cheap. Invest in the proper tool for the job. Okay? So I don't need my magnifying goggles anymore. Take those off. And I want to show you what I did. So that's what it should look like that. Okay. Now we're going to take the heat shrink. Let me turn off my iron. It's no longer needed. Let me tin it. You always make sure your tip's tin when you turn it off. Keep that tin nice. And if you take care of your iron, your tips, there's no reason why they can't last for 20, 30 years. Well, at least 15, 20 years, at least. Yeah. Like, I've had that tip right there. That's about 10 or 15 years old. At least 10 years old, that tip right there. At least 10 years old. And it's still a good tip, nicely tinned, you know. Yeah, that's a nice tip. Okay, so let me get my heat gun. I use a heat gun like this. Pretty nice heat gun. This is the heat gun that I use. Okay, so let me plug it in. It has two settings. It has low heat, high heat. So it's a pretty nice heat gun. So let me plug it in, Hans, shut the hell up. I know you got a marvelous singing voice, but I don't know if people want to hear it, you know? So, yeah. Let me put my cutters away. Remember, put your tools away. Okay, so we got the cord. Okay, so let me plug this bitch in. Yeah, like the song goes, plug it in, plug it in. That's right, bitches. Plug that shit in, man. Okay, plug it in. That's right. Okay, so let me plug this bitch in. Because I want you to see what I'm doing here. Yeah, I want you to see what I'm doing, man. Alright. Heat gun plugged in. And we can just, you know, I just show you the camera here. Okay, let me turn around. You want to keep it going. You do not want to just hold it in one spot, because if you do, you can melt. What the fuck? Okay, that's good enough. Something came off. Something came off, people. Oh, it's one of the, let me look, make sure that's good. Maybe I need my magnifying goggles after all. Yeah. I just want to make sure that it turned out good. Yeah, that's heat shrunk. And it's not cutting through the heat shrink material, because those wires are right next to each other. So Yeah, that turned out pretty good right there. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. As you know, Arthur, I mean, as they say in the Arthur movie, it doesn't suck. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's the way it should look. So now I've got the proper connector. This is the connector that came off the original fan. And so this should plug right into the board. Plus, it's a little bit longer, you know. So, yeah. And these here, okay. These are the clips. The clips that go on right here. They came off the original fan. And, yeah. They just slide on like that. Okay, and these go sideways like that. Okay, and you want to use a good quality fan like this. Don't use those way overpriced sleeve-bearing Notchoa fans. They're absolute garbage. And yet I see so many of you in your videos, you just love those pieces of crap, pieces of shit Notchoa fans. Stop using those fans. Especially like in like an Amiga 2000 power supply or anything that requires high quality fans. You always want to go with a ball bearing fan like this. One that's made in either in Japan, Belgium, you know, Germany, or the United States. These are high quality fans. If it says made in China, or like Donald Trump likes to say, China, if it's made in China, don't use that fan in your vintage electronics. The fan better say Japan, or it's not a good quality fan. It's not a high quality fan. Okay? And if you look at those pieces of shit, those way overpriced Notchoa fans, you'll see that's most likely is made in China. Okay? So no, don't use it. Also, this is a ball bearing fan, and that's what you want in a power supply. Whereas the Notchoa fans, they're sleeve bearing fans. I mean, yeah, they got a fancy name attached to that sleeve bearing, but I don't care what fancy name that they give it, it's still a sleeve bearing fan. There's two types of fans. There's ball bearing fans and there's sleeve bearing fans. Ball bearing fans are much higher quality and they last a lot longer. To give you an idea of just how much higher quality these ball bearing fans are, the average life expectancy for a sleeve bearing fan is 5 years. That includes the way overpriced Notchoa fans. Okay? The average life expectancy for a ball bearing fan like this is 20 to 30 years. That's right. You'll often find these Nidec fans like this in vintage electronics, and they still work good even today. 25, 35, 40 years later, they're still working good. None of them have seized up. I want to see a Notchoa fan, that way overpriced piece of shit Notchoa fan. I want to see that piece of shit last 10 years. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get this fan installed, shall we? Let me get the power supply put over like that. Okay, we got the metal clips on from the original fan. We got them mounted on the new Nidec fan. And we want to put this in like, well, like that. Okay. And then we have our screen right there. That has to go on. And we're using the bolts that came out, you know, the bolts that came out of the original fan. Okay. So let's get that mounted. Okay, so that's in the, you want to keep it loose until they're all in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this one in. Like that. Keep it keep it loose. And then hold this down here. Okay, well, that's not going in. Why is it not going in? Okay. It should be going in. Okay, now it's going in. Okay. Okay. Keep it loose. So you get them all in, then you start tightening. Okay. Okay. So underneath the camera, I just want to make sure that it's going into that metal part. I think it is. Yeah, it's supposed to look like that. Okay. So, what the hell is going on with all these screws? Put them over there. Alright. So, let's go ahead and tighten that, shall we? I'm going to pull it toward me like this. Yeah. Yeah, that looks okay. And then just snug it. Yep, just snug it. Do not over tighten. Okay. So now I can put this screwdriver away. And there's the new fan mounted. The new Nidec fan. Now what we need to do, okay, okay, we want to plug in, well, first of all, what I want to do is have this tied up like that with some wire ties. Yeah. But you know what? I think I'm going to plug it in first. This is always a pain in the ass because of where that damn plug is. So I might need to have take the glasses off. I see better sometimes without my glasses on. I'm going to need... I might need to go with my needle nose pliers on this. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, come on, get in there. Why isn't that going in? Oh, I see why. I see why. Come on. Why is it not going in there? I don't get it. Oh, come on, you fuck. Why is it not going in there? Okay, what the fuck? Man, this is always a pain in the ass trying to get this in. It's always a pain in the ass. That's why I usually do this off camera. It's such a pain in the ass trying to get this in. Oh, now you're starting to piss me off. What the fuck? Why won't you go in? Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay. Alright, shit. I might have to use my pointer. Where the hell is it at? I might have to use this to put it in there, because I can take this and just put it right there in the center. And it should fucking... Why won't it go in there? I mean, oh my god. Alright, I need to use the other one too. Yeah, plugging in that damn fan is always a problem. It's always a fucking problem. Always a fucking problem. It's always something. As Gilda Radner once said, it's always something. And it is. She's right about that. It's always something. Get in there, bitch. Alright, I got it in there. Okay, you want to be careful with the new capacitors. You don't want those getting messed up. Okay, so yeah, that worked out pretty good. Let me now put my glasses on. I'm going to need some wire ties. Yeah, get some wire ties. Tie that, make it nice and neat. Okay. Still need the camera. Make sure I'm still need the damn camera. Alright. So we want to have these go... You know what? I see better. For this kind of stuff here, I see better without my glasses on. Okay, so we want to have this like that. Actually, let me see something. Have it like that. Now, they didn't do it this good at the factory, but I have been trained to work on power supplies, so I'll do it the way Commodore, the people that made this power supply, I think LG made this power supply. I'll do it the way they should have done it. They should have wire tied these just like that, but they didn't. Don't over tighten, because you can actually break these wires, and you want to keep it kind of loose, just like that. That's fine. Do not over tighten. Okay, and they really should have heat shrinked those. That's what I would have done when I used to build power supplies. When I worked at Tektronix in Beaverton, that's what I had to do, people. Okay, and then this, yeah. Okay, so we need to put this in, tie that down, okay, because you don't want to take a chance on those wires hitting the fan blades, and that's one of the reasons why you do this. Yeah, so that looks pretty good like that. Yeah, that one's fine there. That one's fine. Yeah, that's fine there. Yep, that's fine. And we don't want the wires on that heat sink, so we're probably going to want to, well, I don't think it's hitting the heat sink that much, but we really don't want them on that sink. I don't know. Let me get my cutters. I don't like the way that is. I don't like this one either. Yeah, I don't like the way that is too. and get this one off of here. Yeah, get that one off. Okay, let me get 2 more of these. Sometimes it's just the way it is. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, okay, we want that like that. Okay, so all right. Okay. Not too tight, just snug it. That's fine like that. And do not cut too close to that. You want to leave a little bit hanging out. Alright, so that's on there. We don't need to really tie it up there. But we do want to tie it around here. We want these wires away from that heatsink. So, yeah, do it like that. Want those wires away from that heatsink. Okay. Like that's good. Make sure it's still plugged in. Because I did pull on the wires a little bit, so make sure it's still plugged in good with the spudgy. And this doesn't have to be really tight, just, you know, there you go, like that's fine. Just like that, that's fine. Just as long as it's, you know, got that wire pulled away from that heat sink. That's all that it needs. Okay, that's all it needs. Alright, like that's good. And the wires are, it's plugged in. Make sure that bitch is plugged in. It's important because you want that fan spinning. Okay, so that should be good right there. It shouldn't hit the fan. It should be fine like that. Yeah, should be okay like that. Now, if I had to do it all over again, I would have left the wire from, you know, the original fan wire a little bit longer. So I could also wire tie it up here, but this will be fine as long as it doesn't hit the fan blade. Because I cut off, I have that much extra wire, you know, that I could have used. See, so from now on I'll leave a little bit extra wire. So I can also wire tie it here, you know. But that's okay, that right there is fine. And now we're going to take a look at it. And you'll see, you know, what it looks like. It's plugged in. It's plugged in right there. I don't know how well you can see that underneath the camera, but I want you to see what's on. This is, the wires are tied, so they won't, there's no way it's going to hit the fan blades. Okay, when I have the top on, it'll be like that. So it should be fine. The wires are tied away. It's important that you keep that small wire, any of these wires, from hitting that heat sink. If the heat sink gets hot, it can melt through that insulation and cause a direct short. So yeah. Okay, so let's put the top on. We'll do that next. Yeah, we'll do that next. Okay, so let's finish up this power supply, shall we? Let's get her done. So we got everything. I just double check everything before I put the cover back on. Make sure this is plugged in. It is. Everything looks good. I don't see any problems. This is good like that. The fan blade shouldn't hit, so that's good. Like I said, from now on I'll add a little bit more wire, have some more slack in it so I can tie it here as well, you know. But that's fine the way it is. It's fine. So there's that. Okay. And I usually put it up like this when I'm putting it back together. And here's the screws. Again, use a low torque screwdriver. Do not use a full-size number 2 Phillips. Too heavy. It's got too much torque. Okay. All right. Okay. Do not over tighten. Again, just snug it. Okay. So that part's in, and that the wires are on there, and they're coming out really nice. Okay, nothing's, yeah, looks really good. That's in there really good. So now we got to put in the other screws. Yeah, I got to put in the other screws. Ow, ow, hit my damn elbow on my damn... That hurt. That actually hurt. Okay. Now some of these bolts are 3mm and some are American Standard. It just depends on who made the power supply case. These are probably 3mm. Okay, so it is made by, what is it, Light-On Electronics, Taiwan. Alright. Okay, I don't want to over tighten. You'll strip it because these are fine thread. So don't over tighten. Just snug it and we're done. We're done, people. So that's what it looks like. All put together, ready to go. Now I usually wipe it again with a soft cotton cloth, spray a little bit of WD-40 on it, wipe it down, and then I'll wipe it down again with a clean cloth just to keep the outside of the case from oxidizing or rusting or whatever. You know, there's the new Nidec fan, very high quality Japanese fan, ball bearing fan. So that fan should last 20, 25, 30 years. You know, should last a long time. So yeah, and there's the specs on that power supply in case, you know, you need to see the specs. There they are, right there. So all right, another Amiga 2000 power supply is now refurbished and ready to go. I've got, I think I've got 6 more to do. Yeah, 6 more to do. I'm not going to do all of those under the camera, but I wanted to do a second one under the camera, show you guys how I do it from start to finish, because a lot of you emailed me and said that you want to actually see me do the work, and so that's why these 2 videos are much longer than the original 2 videos that I did. But if you haven't seen those videos, you should watch those too, because I think they're pretty good. I may have touched on things I did not touch upon on this one, on these 2 videos. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video, this series, this 2-part video where you have to watch me refurbish an Amiga 2000 power supply. I hope you enjoyed these 2 videos. Stay tuned for more exciting content here on the Hans Campbell Show. I got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. My name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.